quick disclaimer. This video was made before Fontaine's release, so the Fontaine characters shall be appearing in the next tier list. Thank you for your understanding. Hey, how's it going, you swell individuals? It's been a while since we've done a cracked tier list, and I figured we'd keep it simple with the return. So we're gonna be placing the Genshin characters into what kind of an anime they'd be a part of. Now, there's not gonna be any spinny wheel of the spinniness today, although we might actually pair some of the characters up into like little groups in a specific anime, which I think might be fun. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So since there's so many genres of anime and subgenres, it can get kind of tricky. We just kind of kept the more simple ones, although we might add some as we go through the list, yes. For the first one, we have action and adventure, which is basically what Genshin is already. Then we have the romance slice of life, the fantasy sci-fi, comedy slice of life. Slice of life is kind of just here as a sub thing for both of these two, but it's romance and comedy for the most part. Then we have mystery supernatural. I don't really know who's going in here, but it should be fun. And finally, I can think of one character for horror, and y'all know damn well who it is. So without further ado, let's get into the first character, which is Aether. Now, I feel like the traditional way to go about this is just say action and adventure because he's the main character. Him and Lumine, we're gonna do them together. Where is baby girl? Okay, wait. I have a bit of an idea for this, so we're gonna separate them, which is something y'all keep telling me to do. So Aether's gonna be, we're gonna say the Abyss sibling, and Lumine's gonna be just the Traveler. So, as the Traveler, we're gonna keep her in action adventure. It's gonna be happy fun times with a bit of the emotional damage moments from time to time, but it's still pretty nice. But Aether, since he's with the Abyss, this man's gonna be in the horror land. Like, the amount of things this man has seen, I feel like would just make some of us kind of brain dead. He's been to the Abyss and back. Literally. He even became the king of the baddies, so it kind of works. Yeah, I like this. Lumine's probably like, I'm sure my brother's fine. And he's like, the darkness, all I see it's pitch black. And then maybe Aether has like a psychiatrist and she's like, all right, Aether, close your eyes. Tell me what you see. He's like, the blood, the friends I've lost, the comrades I've lost. All I see is the darkness. And the psychiatrist is like, all right, so, that's great. Our hour is almost up, so I'm gonna need some extra more. I don't know where I'm going with this, but you get the idea. Next, we got Homuncachunk, and I feel like the obvious route is a mystery supernatural, but I kind of want to keep him here because I feel like that'd be interesting as hell. Like, imagine how much of an acid trip it'd be to watch the Albedo show, or... Wait, what would his anime be called? Okay, I think it would be called something like The Real Me. If you translate that to Japanese, I'm sure it sounds great as an anime title. But yes, his show is gonna be about identity disorder, and maybe he becomes a bit schizophrenic. Nah. But I feel like he's gonna have so many trust issues. Like, every now and then when someone comes up and talks to him, he's like, are you me? The other person is like, what are you talking about? Wait, I feel like it could be so emotional. Like, maybe he has a love interest in the anime, but he doesn't get really close to her because he's so nervous about the clones coming to murder him and everyone he holds dear. Oh, wait, dude. This is getting kind of sad, but deadass, I would watch this show in a heartbeat. I also feel like half the audience is just watching it because of how much of a swell lad Homuncachunk here really is. Like, he's gonna have so many fangirls at home. They're not even listening to the plot, they just love him. Next, we got Alhaitham. I'm debating between romance slice of life and comedy slice of life. You know what? We're gonna put him here because I feel like if he's like the MC of like a high school anime, the entire student body is gonna be simping for this man like crazy because he has the brain power, he has the fitness as well. Like everyone wants him to join their club, but he's probably part of the going home club. Like he just wants to mind his own business, do his own thing, but everyone's going after him. Ooh, and what if a chick confesses to him? Yeah, like let's say they call him to the school roof and he's like, this better be quick. And they're like, I love you. And he's like, cool story. Tell me about your achievements. He's gonna want to get a full background check on whoever wants to hook up with him. He's like, so, what do you do for a living? They're like, I'm a high school student. He's like, not good enough. What's your IQ? Not good enough. Nah. Yeah, I'm not putting him in romance because he's just gonna turn everyone down. And I don't think that would ever change. Like the most he would open up to someone is he refers to them as an acquaintance. That is a privilege amongst Alhaitham's circle. Okay, we have to do Kaveh as well. This is gonna be his best friend, and he's not the popular one. But I feel like people go up to him just to get close to Alhaitham. And wait, what if Kaveh starts giving him a bad rep? Like people go up to Kaveh and is like, so your friend over there, what's he like? And he's like, he's lazy, he's a slouch, he never puts in any effort. And all the chicks are like, oh my God, that sounds so dreamy. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of negative rep he tries to put Alhaitham in, it doesn't work. Everyone is still getting moist for this man. But yeah, I feel like eventually, if this was a romance anime, Kaveh would eventually find love, but I'm gonna put him in comedy slice of life. He's literally perfect for that kind of setting. Him and Alhaitham being like the two main characters, that would be comedy gold. Next, we got Amber. Dude, this girl can go into so many genres. She's super adventurous, so action adventure. And she could be in like a high school setting. Bro, Amber in a high school would be insanely popular with every conceivable group. Like the nerds and the geeks are like, oh my God, it's Amber. Hey, Jim, go talk to her. They're like, hi, Amber. And Amber's gonna be so nice with them. Like, everyone would get along with her. So should we put her in comedy slice of life? Ooh. Oh, wait, we're missing something. Yes, I didn't think about this. As a haiku enthusiast, I could easily see Amber being part of a sports anime. Yes, wait, should we have a bit of like a sporty tournament kind of thing? Like a bunch of characters in the same sports anime? Yeah! Okay, we need to make some teams. Collei could easily go in horror suspense, but I want this to be happy, fun rainbows for her. So she's gonna be with Amber on like the volleyball team. Yeah, and Amber's gonna be like, don't worry, Collei, I'm gonna be the one who takes you to nationals. Because Collei's probably like, I'm not good enough to be on the big stage. Amber's like, nonsense. You're the queen of receiving the ball. Don't you worry, girl. And deadass, it would be such a nice story of her just gaining confidence the higher level she goes. And by the end of it, she's gonna be a natural. She's gonna have such good character development. I would pay money for an Amber and Collei volleyball anime. I can't. Next, we got Arataki Itto. And although he's definitely kind of in shape, I mean, his arms do kind of look like twigs, but he has that weird six-pack, so I feel like he could be in the sports anime, but you know damn well his appeal is on the comedy side. He's that kid in the comedy slice of life anime that is just waltzing through the halls, thinking, yeah, I'm the shit. Look at me and my big PP energy. but everyone is just looking at him like he's the biggest dork, but you can't help but respect the man's charisma. But here's the thing, I feel like the kids who are really insecure look up to Itto like he's the biggest idol. So he's gonna have his group that are all kind of losers that hang with him. So kind of like the Arataki gang, minus Shinobu. He also gives me vibes like he brings like Bakugan or Beyblades to high school. And everyone's looking at him like, what a loser. But deep down, their kid sides, they want to mess around with the Beyblades. Bro, Beyblades were fun back in the day, but I'm getting sidetracked. Anyway, it would just be a weird, quirky comedy, pretty self-explanatory. Let's do Shinobu as well, baby girl. Okay, this might be a bit of a hot take, but I feel like originally, Shinobu is gonna be part of Itto's squad in his comedy slice of life anime, but since she's such a free spirit, like freedom is her whole motif, I think after a while, she's gonna leave this group and get her own spin-off anime. Yes, she's gonna be traveling the world, learning all these different things, and she's also gonna be like low-key a bit of an assassin. That's where the action comes in, yeah. So after her law school classes, she goes to a bar, gets some information on a corrupt politician that needs to get killed. I just love the contrast. She goes to law school and is also an assassin. Obviously, it's not canon, but I feel like that's kind of a good way to incorporate both genres for Shinobu over here. Yeah, I like that route. Baizhu, I feel like whatever anime he's in is gonna be an acid trip. This is the type of show where I feel like if you're drunk or baked out of your mind, you're probably gonna enjoy it more. With that said, I think it's gonna be some mystery, some supernatural stuff, because he's the medicine doctor. So he's gonna try to explain all these things that make no logical sense. So he's a bit of a detective and a doctor mixed into one, which I think kind of suits his character. Yeah. Oh, no, it would be like Sherlock Holmes. Wait, didn't Watson from Sherlock Holmes study medicine? Yes, so he's gonna be Watson, and Shang is gonna be Sherlock Holmes. I need this in my life, yes. So it's gonna be a mystery show I would pay money for to see this dynamic in action. I love that. Next we have baby girl Barbara, and this one's pretty obvious. She has to be in a rom-com. She is the school idol. Everyone is obsessed with this chick, and that might be a bit of a bad thing. Oh, what if it also takes a bit of a psychological turn? Wait. Okay, wait, should we put her here? No. Oh, fuck. We're gonna add another tier. We're gonna have so many tiers by the end of this video. Okay, this is better. It's definitely not like a horror show, but I feel like since she's so popular in whatever slice of life she's originally in, she might start to get bullied by her classmates. Yeah, because you know when you're so amazing, people are jealous of you, they start to pick on you. Now, I'm sure she's gonna have her friend circle that defends her, but I feel like once she gets home and her friends are gone, the bullies are gone, she's just in her room, like in a corner, like, it's okay, it's fine, we have to put on this image, Barbara. Nah, deep down, Barbara has some demons, y'all. But aside from that, I still think there'll be funny moments, wholesome moments, and maybe it's just like a journey for her to better her mental health. Yeah, so eventually the bullies go away because her friends like Benny and Fischl tell them to go eat horse manure. Wait, Benny and Fischl being her besties is kind of wholesome. Because they're both so weird that I feel like they keep people away, which is what Barbara needs, so it's perfect. Okay, since we just talked about them, we're gonna do Benny Fischl. Now, although they all attend the same high school per se, I still think they're all gonna have their own different genres that they belong to. So, Fischl is gonna be the fantasy sci-fi chick, self-explanatory. There's definitely gonna be like underlying comedy elements in her show, but I think it's gonna be like Watamote, if you guys have ever seen that show, where it's kind of cringe humor, but it has a very specific crowd that just loves the heck out of it. So theoretically, her show could just be a typical comedy slice of life, but from her perspective, which is what we're watching, it's gonna be just the wackiest stuff. We're gonna see her illusions come to life. Wait, not an anime about seeing into Fischl's head would be the biggest acid trip, and I would pay money for that. That would be amazing. And then Benny, I can kind of see him being a bit more in the romance slice of life. Yeah, because he's an unlucky wholesome boy. Maybe he has a bit of a thing for Barbara over here, but she's not paying attention because of her sleep paralysis demon. And then Fischl's into Benny, so we have a bit of a love triangle, but the only one fully invested in the romance is Benny, for sure. And I can imagine it kind of being a bit of a fail compilation. Nah, you search up funny moments from the Bennett anime on YouTube, and it's literally just all clips of him like falling down the stairs, him blowing up the science lab. It's gonna be stuff like that. Next we have Beidou. Ooh, wait, why can I imagine her having like the Pirates of the Caribbean, except in anime form? I love that, yes! So she would be traveling the world, fighting ghost pirates, trying to stay out of Davy Jones's locker. And what if, like her original journey, like you know how she fought the Hydra in game? What if that's like the first book or the first season of the show? It all leads up to that epic duel, and I imagine the budget for the fight would be amazing, immaculate. Studio Ufotable would be the one budgeting this show. I can also imagine it staying entertaining because of how charismatic Beidou is. Like there would be some adult comedy, even though this show is rated PG-13 per se. But nah, I feel like it might even be closer to a movie, but we're gonna leave her here. I just love the Pirates of the Caribbean thing. That's so cool. Yes, Beidou. Next, we have Candace. Ooh, I feel like a slice of life show with her would be maximum comf. Yeah, because she is the cool, quiet, mysterious transfer student. Yes! Wait, she would be the foreign transfer student that everyone is going crazy for. She sits by the window in the back of the class. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And everyone's gonna be so shy to talk with her at first, but once they find out how much of a Giga Chad she really is, she's gonna have so many damn friends. Honestly, this might be a hot take, but I think this could be a romance slice of life show, which I wasn't expecting for someone as battle-hardened as Candace. I love the whole idea of opposites attract. So what if she hooks up with someone who's like the opposite? They're super eccentric, loud, literally the opposite of Candace. And from an outside perspective, everyone is like, that's not gonna work. But deep down, it actually does work. And they end up hooking up. And it's a cool thing. Everyone on the sidelines is just like, how is that possible? But I feel like whoever it was just had the courage to take that first step, which is why it ends up being a nice thing. Life lesson right there. Don't be afraid to just do it. Be like Candace, or sorry, Candace's man or women, whoever. Next we got Chongyun. Ooh, wait. Him and Xingqiu need to be co-stars. Yes, in a slice of life anime together. Wait, no. What if it's like a supernatural mystery thing? So what if in the anime, Chongyun is the only one who could see the evil spirits, but Xingqiu is the smart one who plays off of the information Chongyun gives him. I love that so much. And it would also have underlying comedy elements. Like Xingqiu would mess with him so much But I feel like Chongyun could also screw with him. Like maybe he leads some spirits into his room in the middle of the night, and Xingqiu's like, Chongyun, why is my room haunted again? And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Nah, I know Chongyun's a good karma boy, so he might not go that far, but I need to see him get some subtle revenge. Nothing too extreme, just friendship revenge. But I would love to see this show. You have no idea. Next we have Paimon. Now guys, I can't be the only one who can only see Paimon in a supporting role. Like her being the main character, unless it's an anime about just tasting food. Wait a sec. Have you guys watched Food Wars? She could be like a judge on that. Yeah, but again, it's not really a main character role, but if we're talking anime, that's the one I'd associate with her the most. Yes. She's the easiest to please judge imaginable. Like as long as it's edible and has a little bit of flavor, like if they sprinkled some salt and pepper on it, she's gonna think it's a 10 out of 10. So theoretically, she'd get fired pretty quickly, but I'm gonna leave her in action adventure with Lumine. Just because they're kind of a package deal, and I don't really have a tier for just food, and the comedy aspect, I can't really see it. Like, Paimon's sense of humor is so subjective, and if you don't like it, you probably think it's annoying. So we're just gonna leave her there to play it safe, yeah. Hey guys, editing bonk here. So I finished the Fontaine quest, and Detective Paimon is comedy gold. So maybe I changed her to mystery comedy. But yeah, I only played the quest after, so she is still there. Next, we got the King Cyno, and he can go one of two routes, and I'm sure y'all can predict which routes they are, but I'm gonna say it's an amalgamation of comedy and action. So an action comedy, ooh, which genre do you think would have the biggest effect on the audience? I think the comedy is gonna be so hit or miss that you can't help but obsess about it. Like, you remember this show for how hilarious it is, or how cringe you felt as you were watching it. It just depends on your sense of humor. The action scenes, I can imagine being amazing. Like Cyno fighting a velociraptor. I don't know why Velociraptor was the first thing that came to my mind. Yes, that's the plot. He's gonna be in the Stone Age fighting dinosaurs, all while telling his funny jokes with his cavemen brothers and sisters. And they're all like, ooh, stupid joke, Cyno, you dumb. This is the most cracked plot, but I don't even care. The animation is top tier, but the comedy is what resonates with the soul. Next, we got Dehya. I feel like she could also be in kind of a romance because she seems insanely popular. But I'm gonna say, ooh, sports could work too. But I think she's a little too intense for that. Yeah, so I'm gonna say action adventure with a potential love interest. Yeah. So maybe the plot is she's a mercenary. One day she does a job she doesn't want to do. Like maybe her employer is like, all right, Dehya, you need to kill this rich person's child. And in this kind of business, saying no outright is not the way to go. So what if she takes in the kid secretly? Yes, Dehya being low-key a mom. Maybe she finds a love interest as she's on duty. She'd need to get someone to babysit the kid from time to time to keep them under ropes. Wait, why does this sound low-key wholesome? It would be super action-packed, but you'd also have the slice of life at home life. With her and her kid and whoever her hubby ends up being. Yeah, dude, I love the unorthodox approaches to these characters. It's so good, but also keeping their personality. It's cool. Next, we have Diluc. Ooh, It might be psychological. In my opinion, yes. You know when he was escaping from Snezhnaya? What if that becomes an anime arc for him specifically? So him surviving in these really rough conditions, having to stay motivated, because that is the most important thing from stopping you from committing toaster bath. So yes, there would be action scenes, but I feel like it would be not similar, but kind of a similar tone to something like Vinland Saga, where the action is cool, but it's not the center focus. The character growth, the development, the emotional damage Diluc might low-key be going through. Because I know he's very stone-faced, but he's a really good person, so he must have some demons. But yeah, I see it going down the psychological route. I think it'd be a really good show as well. Next we have Diona, and I kind of have a weird, vivid fantasy for this one. I think it's gonna be a comedy slice of life where she owns a bar and literally everything in the anime takes place in said bar. The entire purpose of the show is to convince people at home to not become alcoholics. And what better way to spread the message than with a cat girl? So, the entire time, she's trying to make poisonous drinks as she does, and everyone always thinks it's the best. But every time when the bar closes, she goes to the basement and is concocting a drink so bad that it has to make someone quit drinking. But here's the thing, every attempt she has at this project is gonna fail. And I can imagine every arc is her trying to make a drink that is worse than the last. And finally, for the season finale, the customer says that the drink is just okay. They don't say it's the best thing in the world. So you know what? That is progress. And Diona can pat herself on the back for probably poisoning some people because the ingredients are still probably really harmful, but that's gonna be her anime-ish. Next up we got Dori, who, ooh, hey. What if it's a psychological show? Yeah, that delves into the mind of a criminal mastermind, kinda. So even though it would have like comedic undertones, as Dori is selling her illegal canned kush. Afterwards, when she gets home from a day of illegal activity, she finds it difficult to fall asleep because the sins are on her shoulders and low-key weighing her down. Yeah, I feel like that's kind of a cool twist because she definitely seems like the type of character who talks to herself like a lot. Like when she gets home and is alone, she's just like, Dori, what were you thinking? Maybe someone was watching. I don't know, Dori. Maybe it's because I need the money, my family, my parents. We're not getting into Dori's whole backstory. But yeah, this could be really trippy and could traumatize people and maybe convince them to not do any crimes. Yeah. Next we have Eula, although obviously she'd be great as part of the sports team with the Amber Squad. I kind of want her to go in the romance slice of life thing. I think it's because she's a tsundere. Like, imagine the rich, haughty chick at the high school, which is Eula, and is super standoffish to everyone. Everyone wants to talk to her, but Eula just looks at them with that ice-cold gaze. Like, you know that dirty look that anime characters give sometimes? She would be the queen of that look, and low-key might cause some people to become masochists. Which is kind of a route I like. But in terms of the romance side of the story, I feel like there's gonna be, similar to Candace, that one person who just doesn't give a rat's ass. They're gonna talk to her anyway, and Eula's not gonna know what to do. She's gonna be like, don't you know I'm from the Lawrence clan? And the other person is gonna be like, oh, that's nice. So anyway, wanna go get some coffee with me after school? Like, them not caring about her image is such a wholesome thing. And maybe after school as well, she goes to fight criminals or something. Wait, that would be such a good mix. So she has the wholesome side and the action side, and maybe that's why she doesn't want to get anyone involved with her, because she's a good person. Yes! Low-key, this might be a tragic love story, but I would be all for it. This is the type of show I would binge watch in a heartbeat. Next, we got Faruzan. I think it's between mystery and supernatural to fantasy or even horror. Ooh! Nah, I'm gonna say fantasy because I think Faruzan is one of the more far out there characters. I mean, then again, spending 100 years trapped in a room, I think might make a lot of people go mildly insane, to say the least. So she's really sane considering what she's been through. Oh, wait a sec. I came up with something. What if she's the star of like a Gundam anime? Yes, if I was gonna assign a character to be like a mecha pilot, it would have to be Faruzan. Yes, she would be flying Gundams in space with Fischl. They would be fighting evil to save the world. She would have one of the most basic Gundams imaginable, and the enemies have these insanely big, bulky Gundams. But guess what? The pilot is the most important thing. So she would be the queen of the stars, fighting evil. Dude, I'm just imagining Faruzan on a Gundam poster right now. Her head on the main character's face. I love it. Next, we have Ganyu, who I can also kind of see being psychological, but for her specifically, I kind of want it to be a slice of life. We'll go towards the comedy side of things. Yeah, her and Keqing, yes. Her and Ganyu are going to be best friends in high school, and they're going to be part of the student council. I'm not going to bring Ningguang into this because I have kind of an idea. So what if, in the public eye, Ganyu and Keqing are like saints? They're organizing the school events, everyone loves them, they have their little fan clubs of simps, just like in real life. But after school hours, they have tie-ins to the mafia. Now, I know Ningguang isn't a mafia boss or anything, but I love the idea that she is in charge of low-key a super suspicious organization, but it still does good things. So it's not like she's evil or anything, but they work for her. So every day when their student council activities are done, Ningguang is like, Keqing, Ganyu, come to the hideout. I have some details to talk to you about. Why am I making her sound like Mafia boss Itto right now? But I'm still gonna leave them here for the most part. Maybe they'd have a spin-off that really dives in to the work they do for Ningguang. But as for Ningguang herself, I think it could be like a mix of drama. I can imagine whatever show she's a part of is gonna have some really serious themes that connect to the real world. So in terms of what's the closest for her, I'm gonna put her in psychological because I feel like the show is gonna make you question your existence and your purpose in this world. Like, the whole thing in her show is I feel like the whole perception of right and wrong would be really apparent. Because even though technically she's Mafia boss Ningguang, she's doing everything for the sake of the people. Like, she's not gonna be extorting random civilians. She's gonna be a good leader. But it's gonna be a very psychological, kind of mind-fucky show. Next, we have Gorou. Ooh, there isn't really a military genre shtick. I mean, action-adventure could kind of tie into that. Unless it's like some fantasy military. Ooh, wait. I kind of like that, yeah. He is the main character, going to the Demon Lord's castle. And the Demon Lord is Yae Miko. Maybe when he was a kid, his entire family was brutally murdered by the Yae Miko cartel. Like she sent some goblins in to deal the business. But Miko's like, spare the fox boy. I want to screw around with him for the rest of his life. So all he's thinking about is avenging his family. The only issue I have with this plot is that I can't see Miko being defeated by anyone, especially someone who she's blackmailed and screwed around with in the past. But nah, we'll say he makes it to the castle after defeating the 7 generals, if you get the reference, respect. And what if, after he somehow beats her, she becomes like a party member? Yeah, all of that murdering his family, water under the bridge, they're best friends now. It kind of makes me sad that there are anime that go down this route. But still, I think it's going to be a fantasy setting against Miko. Miko specifically, even though she's the demon lord, I feel like there's some antics that go on in her castle that makes it like a comedy slice of life. Let's just throw all the murder on the side for the time being. Once she's in her private abode, the anime just turns in to her exploiting the light novel industry. Yeah, and it would have some whack anime title like The Demon Lord Wants to Rule the World with Light Novels. So as Gorou's training for this death battle, Yae Miko is publishing some new volumes of the story they're doing, maybe. Ooh, what if she's writing a book about Gorou as Gorou's trying to kill her? This is kind of some Inception stuff, but I do kind of like it, yeah. We're gonna go down with this route. Then we have Kirarada, who I personally would love to see on an action adventure. Yeah, it would be one of those relaxing comf journeys across the world, where it's mostly just about the nature and the sights she takes in, but every now and then, the cat girl has to whoop some treasure hoarder ass. But that's not the main theme of the show. The main theme of the show is to appreciate the moment and rush to deliver your Amazon packages. Like, imagine Kirarada climbing Mount Everest just to deliver a package. Nah, and worst case, the customer has Prime delivery. So I feel like that's Kirarada's trigger word. When she sees on the package Prime Express, she's like, oh no, I only have a day to do this. So she's sprinting across the Himalayas, all for the package. And once she finally gets to the door, it's like the SpongeBob pizza episode. The customer is like, hey, why is the box damaged? And she's like, because I had to fight off polar bears. Nah, I would love to see this. There would for sure be some comedy elements, but it would be an awesome adventure story. Yes. Next, we got Hu Tao, who I feel like is a mix of psychological, comedy, mystery, and horror. But since it's the queen of the ghosts, we have to put her in horror. And I feel like this is one of the few horror animes that is actually pretty damn amazing. Because most horror shows in the anime setting are dog water, like they're kind of ass. But Hu Tao is the exception, because you don't just stay for the spirit antics and the jump scares, you stay for her and her mildly psychotic personality. Like, just imagine the contrast of you at home being absolutely terrified while Hu Tao on the screen is just laughing her ass off. She ain't scared of anything, but I also think the psychological aspects would be really good because everyone else in the cast would be scared of her, which might kind of make her sad. I don't know. Because Hu Tao is always so eccentric and happy that I feel like she might have some demons, especially when you're communicating with the dead. Nah, I feel like I'm taking her segment way too seriously. But I think Hu Tao's anime would be amazing, yeah. Next up, we have Jean, who gives me similar vibes to Ganyu, and I want to say for her, I think she's gonna be an action and adventure kind of anime, but not for the action part, mostly for the adventure, because she's always shut in her little office, that I feel like her going to explore the world would just be a really nice thing. Yeah. Maybe the world's ending, like it's a zombie apocalypse. Wait, this would be like Zom 100 low-key. So the Knights of Favonius are no more, and Jean realizes she doesn't have to go back to work and can just adventure the world to her leisure? Yeah! I like this kind of setting. She would discover herself, get more of a personality. No offense, y'all know I love Jean, but we need to get a little more, and this would be perfect for her. Yes. Also, Lisa, you know what? Wait. Should we make a zombie apocalypse anime group? Okay, Jean, Lisa, and Klee. Wait, no, Klee is a different kind of anime. I can't put her here. But her and Lisa, I could definitely see being like zombie survivors. Lisa's gonna be super laid back during the apocalypse. She's like, finally, I don't have to go after those people for those overdue books anymore. Wait, real quick question. Do you think visions work against the living dead? That would be so sick. Lisa and Jean fighting zombies. It would be a nice survive the living dead anime. In my opinion, yes. Next, we got Kazoozoo. And I feel like we're getting a little too many action and adventure shows. But you know he has to be up there. Stoner hippie traverses the world looking for the purest Nakui. Nah, this would be very similar to Mushishi or To Your Eternity. Yeah, shows where it's just a guy trying to find his purpose while exploring the world, while also potentially getting rizzy with a lot of different people. But it would never be his intention. Like, he just walks into a bar, everyone stares at him like, ooh, what a mysterious man. Hello, sir. And Kazoozoo's like, hello, my fair lady. And instantly, the entire bar is moist. But nah, it would be a spiritual journey with Kazoozoo. Next, we got Kaeya, who is definitely between psychological and mystery. Ooh, okay, I see him being part of a murder mystery. Maybe he gets framed for a crime he didn't commit kind of shtick, and the entire plot is him trying to track down the real culprit. Yeah, maybe he has like a police escort who goes around with him to try to find the actual serial killer or something along those lines, because Kaeya looks and acts like a sussy man. But deep down, he's a wholesome dude, so he would bring this evildoer to justice. It's not going to be supernatural. I think it'd be really realistic and grounded because of Kaeya, but the mystery aspect would still be there, yes. Next, we got Ayaka, who has to be part of a rom-com. She is literally the princess of the school she's a part of. If you guys have ever played visual novel type games, she is one of the main heroines of a game like that. Just convert that to anime standards. Oh, and what if Daddy Itto is like the insanely protective older brother who also kind of has a spin-off? So Ayaka ends up hooking up with, let's say, Aether. Yeah, ooh, that would be a cool opposites attract shtick, because Aether's in the abyss and Ayaka's a happy-go-lucky high school student. That one day she brings Aether back to the Kamisato estate, and Ayato is like, Ayaka, who is this sussy man you brought into the house? And Ayaka's like, oh, this is my friend Aether. Say hi, Aether. He's like, what's up? And Ayato's like, Ayaka, I don't trust him. He smells like abyss feces. And then plot twist, maybe he'd hire Toma to kill Aether. Wait, where's Toma? I feel like we're going back to the cartel wars. But nah, we gotta give them their own anime. So rom-com for Ayaka with edgy boy Aether. And as for Ayato, I'm gonna say it's like dark actiony, potentially psychological. Yeah, we're gonna put psychological because he's gonna be the mafia boss. The Godfather is getting an anime, and Ayato is gonna be the MC. No, he's gonna be Michael. Yeah. Ayato is Michael. I need this. So during the day, he's like with Ayaka at home. They're getting along really well, but he also has his dark side, as seen with Aether when he hires Toma to kill him. Or not hires, he already works for him, but you get the idea. And maybe after a while, Ayaka would discover his secret, but he does everything in his power to keep his family safe. And maybe the rival cartel would go after her. No! I'm getting too much in the plot, but he would be the mafia boss in a psychological, dark, actiony anime. Godfather parody. As for Toma, outside of being a hitman for Ayato, I could see him as part of a nice, wholesome sports anime. Yeah. Maybe he's on the rival volleyball team against Amber and Collei, and they're competing for who gets to go to nationals. And Ayato's in the crowd like, "Hey, Toma, you just say the word. If you want me to kill these girls to make you the finalist, just let me know." And Toma's like, "Stop, Ayato, you're embarrassing me. Also, why did you bring so many guns to the gym?" But nah, I feel like there would be low-key some comedy involved, but this would be a really by-the-books, wholesome sports anime. We need someone for Toma's little sports group, though. One final sports player to make this a list. Okay, this is kind of random, but I'm gonna say Noelle. She's gonna be the dark horse of the volleyball tournament, and people look at Noelle and are like, this is gonna be easy. But then she spikes the ball through the damn ground like it was a meteor. I feel like I've seen a lot of anime clips of characters hitting the ball at the speed of light, and that's what Noelle would be. And even if you somehow manage to receive the hits that she makes, you're just gonna break your arms upon impact. But yeah, she could debatably just go in a comedy slice of life because of how wholesome she is, but I do want to keep her here. Yeah, she'd make friends with all these other teams. It'd be a nice time. Next up, we have Kujou Sara, who can go two routes in my mind. The first one is obviously a side character in Itto's comedy anime. Like, she's gonna be the chick that is always on his ass. She's gonna be like the hall monitor of the school, always monitoring, making sure everyone is following the rules, and Itto never really does. So you'd have a lot of cheesy scenes of her chasing him down the hall, which I think would be kind of awesome. And low-key, maybe even some romance. But nah, since she's gonna be the main character, I do want it to be an action-adventure kind of show where she goes out there to find herself. Kind of similar to Jean, actually, because they're both always working. I want Sara, this might sound a little offensive, to kind of become her own character. Like, stop being an A-simp, and this journey is gonna help her with that, yeah. She's gonna find a bunch of random travelers, maybe Kazoozoo, Dehya, become new friends with them, and it's gonna be a happy good time. Yeah, it's a little unorthodox, but that's what we go in. And every now and then, she'd get into a tussle with the bears in the woods, that kind of thing. Next, we have Layla, and this might be a hot take, but I feel like she's gonna be in a horror suspense kind of show. Ooh, what if, like, her sleep deprivation side explores like haunted mansions? Yeah, because maybe her day-to-day life in the anime is like sunshines and rainbows. It's all a happy good time. Everyone in her school loves her, even though she always looks like a zombie. But during the evening hours, she goes to find zombies and the supernatural. Yeah, maybe her and Hu Tao are part of the same kind of anime, and they're both main characters. Maybe her astrological powers have helped her see ghosts, and that's what leads to the collaboration with Hu Tao, who could also see ghosts. So they would be like the Ghostbuster? Yes, Ghostbuster anime with Hu Tao and Layla. Wait, should we get a full cast? Because the Ghostbusters have 4 characters. Okay, we need someone who's really muscly, someone who's really built. Oh, shit. Shenhe part of the Ghostbusters anime live action? I don't know. So you have the comedy, the muscle, and the brains with Layla. Okay, it's gonna be a group of 3, and there's gonna be a lot of comedy added to the horror aspects of this show. And I just realized Shenhe is kind of an exorcist as well. Feel free to correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. She has her relationship with her nephew Chongyun over here. Although theoretically, it's not the scariest show, but we're gonna go with that. All of them have their little quirks. It's gonna be a good time. Next, we have Mona, who is such a good mix of comedy and low-key some mystery as well. Oh, wait, where should we put her? Because I feel like she'd kind of be like Reagan from Mob Psycho. Ooh. Wait, I like that comparison. So she would have her own little shop, not fortune telling, because I know that's not really up her alley, but she helps people with their issues if they give her enough mora. But somehow, she will always stay broke, and it's gonna be a running gag throughout the entire show. And maybe as she's helping all these different people with their problems, she's also trying to uncover the mysteries of the universe. Which I think is gonna get thrown on the back burner for like the entire show. Because the producers are gonna be like, hey, they like it when she's broke. Let's make her broke for the entire show. It's kind of what's happening with her in game, but I'm still gonna leave her. Actually, yeah, the comedy is the biggest quirk of the show. And Mona has a lot of personality, which I can see drawing more viewers in. So that's where we're gonna put her. Next, we have Klee, 100% psychological, inside the mind of a terrorist. Nah, it's gonna be a comedy slice of life with a bit of a twist. She's gonna be causing property damage. Maybe eventually she'd get sent to a juvenile detention center. Yeah, and Jean is finally... She's finally free from the burden that is Klee. But then again, she has her own show. We have to think of a standalone setting. But I do think if Jean wasn't like keeping her in check, yeah, she would probably end up in prison for kids. So the anime is gonna be about how Klee takes over Juvie and becomes the queen pin of the detention center. She'd become kind of like Hook, the boss of the moles. Except a lot more nicer, which I think is more terrifying because you never know what's going on in those demonic eyes. But yeah, the first episode would be in an elementary school, but the rest of it would be in juvie, and it would just be Klee and her little antics, getting a little group of gangsters to follow her. It'd be a nice time. Next, we have Nahida, who I could also see, I feel like we've done this a couple times now, but her as a detective. Like, she would be so good. Oh, wait, and her assistant, where's Scaramouche? This kind of reminds me of an anime that's airing right now. I feel like not many people have seen it. And it's called Undead Girl Murder Farce. I'm gonna put a picture of it on screen right now. Obviously, Nahida isn't dead or anything, but she's gonna be a detective going around a world trying to uncover the deepest hidden truths. Because she's a knowledge seeker. Like, even when Dottore tempted her with the devil's lettuce of the sky being fake in Teyvat, she showed a curiosity. So that curiosity is what's gonna drive the anime on the surface, but people stay for the wholesome interactions between Scara and Nahida. Like, maybe on one of Nahida's cases, like she's investigating some stuff, and through her abilities of persuasion, manages to make him follow her wherever she goes, and they're gonna have the most wholesome dynamic imaginable. Because Scara, to any other character, is a little homicidal, but when Nahida's involved, protection mode activates. Yes, he might be a bit of a tsundere, but still, it's gonna be wholesome detective, the brains and the muscles, and uncovering the truths of the world. I actually want to do Dottore as well, because I feel like he's gonna be a rival to Nahida in her story. Yeah, so his story's gonna take place elsewhere, and maybe he'll have like 3 episodes dedicated to what he does, just to make the audience hate him even more. But at the same time, he's gonna be super well written, and the final boss of the Nahida anime isn't a demon lord like Yae Miko. No, it's Dottore. And quick question, guys. Who do you think is actually smarter, Nahida or Dottore? I think most people are gonna take Boor's side just because she's the god of wisdom, but Dottore's been around for a while. And if you guys saw that community post I did recently, I think that blue vial of his is in fact the water from Fontaine. And y'all know what that does. So he is indeed a terrifying man, who I am gonna leave in the horror category just because the tone of his specific show, or just his 3 episodes, is gonna be so much different. Like, we're gonna see him do some messed up stuff. Kind of like Bondrewd from Made in Abyss. But we're gonna leave him there. Scara is gonna have no issues fighting him as well. Next we have Nilou. Let's step away from the horror and mystery and go to a rom-com, because that's what I feel like this is gonna be. She's that main MC chick that you as the viewer at home are waiting to find something wrong with. Like, you think she can't be this perfect, but she actually is. And she's gonna become everybody's body pillow of choice. No, cancel. I'm cutting that out. He did not cut that out. So I think she's gonna have a bit of a reverse harem, if you will. Like, there's gonna be a bunch of really attractive dudes that wanna hook up with Nilou, and she's gonna be low-key kind of oblivious to what they're really trying to get. Like, she's just like, oh, I have so many nice friends. But deep down, half of these dudes wanna slide into Nilou's DMs. And out of that group of really pretty boys, one of them is gonna have no dirty thoughts and is gonna be really nice and wholesome, and she's gonna hook up with whoever that ends up being. And no, we're not gonna pick a character for that role. Next we have Qiqi, and I feel like the obvious route for the zombie loli is the horror anime, but Hu Tao's there, so that kind of scares me, even though it's her own show. So we're gonna say she's part of a sports anime. Nah, wait. She would have such a good psychological show. The Amniac, or Amnesia Zombie Girl. No doctor can truly understand what's wrong with her. No one knows what she's feeling, not even herself. And I can also imagine it being insanely emotional, because if she finds like connections, like where's Yao Yao? Yeah. So every time she gets really close to someone, she forgets about them, but technically she has her notebook to remember certain parts. But you know how much emotional damage? Like, imagine you're Yao Yao and you go to see Qiqi one morning and she opens the door and is just like, who are you? And it's your best friend? Oh, emotional damage. Like, I'm sure she'd remember after she checked the notebook, and Qiqi wouldn't feel that bad, but Yao Yao, she'd put on the big girl pants and try to act like it's okay, but I feel like this would kind of hurt her. So yeah, inside the mind of the zombie child, should we leave Yao Yao here as well? I'm gonna say outside of the occasional emotional damage, she's gonna be in a comedy slice of life. Like, the emotional parts hit like a truck, but it's only once every 10 episodes per se. Like, I feel like whatever anime she's the star of, she's gonna have a group of fully grown men who are gonna protect this child to the end of the earth. Like, maybe one day she sees a gangster in a back alley who's like bruised up, and she goes and she's like, "Hey, are you okay, mister?" And the gangster's like, "Get out of here, kid. This is none of your business." And she's like, "Well, you're injured, so I'm about to make it my business." So she's gonna be healing up all of the gangsters and mafia people, and she becomes an idol in the community. Like, maybe one person at her school, like, picks on her a bit, and the mafia and gangsters see this, and they're like, "Oh, hell no. Hey, boss, some kid called Yao Yao a stinky face." And the mafia boss is like, "Kill him." No, they're not gonna kill them. They're a bunch of like 10-year-olds, but still, comedy slice of life with some emotional properties. Next, we got A, the Raiden Shogun. This would be an amazing psychological show. Yes, I'm sure she'd have some amazing action scenes as well, but what do you think she was doing, cooped up in her little bubble for hundreds of years? Maybe the anime would take place inside her subconscious, and it just feels like an entire acid trip. And the whole purpose of this anime is to make you feel so bad for A. And I think they do a pretty good job of that, because in Genshin, they spend like maybe 15 to 20 minutes, like an episode's worth, with A, kind of like her character quest. But if she gets a whole season dedicated to pain and the psychological torment she's gone through, this could be pretty amazing. And the whole idea of morality and right and wrong with her, ooh, nah, this would be a really good show. In my opinion, yeah, dude. Next up, we have the Coco Fish, and ooh, she's an interesting one. I think I'm gonna put her in a similar genre to Gorou, in the sense that it's like a fantasy military setting. It's not gonna be the same story though, so she's not gonna have connections to Yae Miko, the demon lord, and Gorou over here, but she doesn't need those other characters to bring out her amazingness. Although I do still want her to have a bit of a rival, someone to connect with. Ooh. Wait, her against Heizou. Yeah, they would be fantasy detectives solving the cases of like the supernatural. And they're both having competitions each month of who can solve the most mysteries. So just as an example, someone was brutally murdered by like a cyclops or a supernatural being, and it's their job to track this supernatural being and bring them to justice, or just straight up murder them if it's a cyclops. And I can also imagine Heizou kinda getting rizzy with the Coco Fish. Like, they're rivals, but low-key, some romantic feelings can be ensued by the conversations they have. And this would definitely be a show for the bigger brain audience. I think it's something you're gonna have to rewatch a couple times to really get what's really going on. But once you get it, you're gonna be hooked. Next, we got Razor, and I feel like this would be if Bear Grylls had his own anime. Wait, what would we classify Bear Grylls? Like, what genre would that be? You know what? I'm adding a tier just for him, and I don't care. Now, a lot of you can say, but Bonk, documentary isn't an anime genre. So we'll just add adventure, because I think that's the closest thing to associate it with. So you just have a narrator being like, "We are in the wild. Here we have the wolf boy in his natural habitat." Nah, I'm sure he would have his own dialogue, and I think the whole purpose of the show would be to show how to survive in the wild, and maybe Razor's whole journey of getting integrated into society. And it would have a good moral lesson that even if you're homeless and don't have much of an education, you could still find your way in the world. And low-key, I feel like this might be really wholesome, but it would also have action scenes. Like, they'd have turf wars. Some other wolves come onto the Razor Gang territory. The narrator's like, as you can see, they are about to fight for dominance. Watch as Razor eats the fallen wolf. Now, we're getting a little too graphic, but it would be kind of a documentary. Like this, yeah. Then we got Rosaria. Dude, I would pay money for whatever kind of Hitman style anime Rosario would be a part of. It would be the most cold-blooded, gruesome thing. Like, maybe one day, this is a really dark example, she randomly runs into like a child who is separated from her parents, and that's gonna be the start of the episode. She's gonna be taking care of this kid for like 15 minutes, trying to find her father with the kid. But towards the end of the episode, where she decides to take the kid to the authorities, we find out that Rosaria is the one who killed her father. And she was just trying to be nice about it. Oh, and maybe after a while, she takes a kid under her wing. So she kills another child's parents. Nah, Rosaria the killer of corrupt politicians and leaving a bunch of children alone. And the kid never knows that she was the one who killed their father. But it would definitely have some amazing action scenes. It would be really emotional, and Rosaria would have so many simps at home. Like, she would be like Yor from Spy X Family. Oh, no. She would be the white-haired chick. I forget her name. Yor's rival. She would be like that, yeah. Next, we have Sayu, who I'm gonna say is also in the slice of life genre, but with a bit of a twist. So since she has all these amazing, like, ninja skills, you might think, oh, she's part of an action, kind of a historical kind of anime, but no, she's gonna use her ninja techniques for everyday tasks to make her life easier. That's gonna be the synopsis. And maybe there's like one other kid in her class that is super suspicious of her because she's always sleeping. She conceals her presence so well that she can stay out of trouble. And every now and then she might steal some milk from the cafeteria to get some of them height increases. But it would be a really cute, wholesome show that really isn't about much. Like, it's the type of show you can watch and be completely brain dead. Me personally, I think I would like this kind of show, especially after like a long day of doing stuff. But that's gonna be Sayu's shtick. Next, we got Dainsliff, who I am sure is having some sleep paralysis demons. Nah, I associate this guy with the 1,000-yard stare. Like, whenever he looks at you, I feel like he's piercing into your soul. And for some fangirls, they're probably getting a little moist, and it's a good thing, but I'm sure it's also pushing people away. So it's gonna be a story about a loner who's trying to fit in and has just gone through a whole bunch of trauma. And I'm sure after a while, maybe he hooks up with a chick, gets a friend or two, and it becomes kind of a nice story. Like, I'm not connecting this directly to Conria, but it's gonna be on something of that grand of a scale. Like, it's gonna leave a similar amount of trauma. And this man is gonna have to fight it. Not physically, emotionally. Next, we got Ying'er. We have to do her and Timaeus together. They're gonna be the stars of a hentai. You know what? I was saying that as a joke, but I'm not even joking anymore. Okay, perfect. So Timaeus is... Timaeus is gonna be at a new company, like a new workplace, and he's the most basic looking dude. And Ying'er is gonna work in the office, and they're gonna make eye contact for the first time. And Ying'er is gonna be like, hey, Want me to give you the sucky wucky 9000? It really do be like that in the hentai plots. Like, there's gonna be no build up to this relationship in the H-tie. But in the actual game, I do like their relationship quite a bit, but I just need an off-brand duo, and they're perfect for that role. And why do I feel like this might low-key be some femdom kind of stuff? Because Timaeus is such the bottom in this relationship, it's not even funny. Next, we got Madam Ping, the not average old lady. And she's tricky. I kind of want to say, just from her transformation shtick, maybe she's in like a fantasy setting. So she's gonna be the owner of like a bar. Yeah, we're gonna say a bar, and it's gonna have a really nice jukebox, and Madam Ping is gonna have the best taste in music, but people come to this bar for life advice, and it's not gonna be your traditional bar. No, there's gonna be all kinds of fantastical creatures that hop in just to talk to Madam Ping. They're like, Ping, I got into a fight with my wife today. And she's like, oh dearie, let me give you some advice. And when she's not on the clock at the bar, maybe she transforms into Streetward Rambler and is like a wandering musician. Yeah, so it's a bit of a mix of the two. We're really just creating anime plots right now. And I'm kind of all for it. Sorry if this video seems a little far-fetched, guys, because I know it is, but it's chill. I don't mind it. I hope you guys don't either. Next, we got Suki Rose, and I kind of want her to have an alchemy show. Yeah, I know I didn't take that approach with Daddy Albedo over here because he gives me more detective vibes. And there's so much more you can do with this man. Actually, we can probably put him in psychological now. Yeah, I think that's more suited for the explanation I gave before. But as for Sucrose, it's gonna be a slice of life fantasy of her just making potions and stuff. I know that might sound a little boring, but if you guys have ever played the Atelier games, it would be similar to that, just in anime form. So she's gonna have her little lab, a bunch of the townsfolk come to her when they need stuff made, and she's gonna be kind of like a celebrity on the down low in her little town. Yeah. It's kind of a wholesome approach, but it is going to be in a fantasy kind of world because it's alchemy, which is more of a fantasy kind of shtick, but a very simple explanation for Sucrose. Next, we got the warmonger Tartusi, and I'm really excited for what's going down with him in Fontaine. But he is gonna be an action god. It's the only route we can take. I'm sure after he's killed like 100 people, he might go babysit Tooser for a bit. But he's gonna be that MC who is constantly looking for a worthy opponent, but he never loses until maybe the season finale, where there's an epic duel with him and some other legend, and this fight humbles him. And in the second season, the action just gets shot up to an 11. He abandons his family. Nah, I don't think he's gonna abandon them even in the pursuit of strength. So he's trying to balance his work and life together. Although in his case, work means killing people and life is just Tooser. But I can imagine this being a really bloody show. Like, it'd be graphic, but it would be really well choreographed, like good fight scenes, yeah. Next up, we have Tiggy, who I can kind of see being similar to Sucrose. Like, he's not an alchemist, but he's a fantasy world doctor. But unlike Sucrose, there's gonna be a lot of comedy in this show. Because this man is the king of sass. So I feel like if a patient isn't happy with his treatment, he's gonna attack the patient and make them need more treatment. Which, to be honest, is a really good way to stay in business. Just beat up your clients so they have to pay you more money. Yes, that might be a little illegal, but it's a fantasy world. But even when all is said and done, he is gonna be an extremely reliable doctor for the village, yeah. Next we have Venti, who is kind of a comedic god, but it could also go down the psychological route because he's an alcoholic. Ooh, wait, no. I don't want to go down that path. What if we make this a collab with Zhao? Yeah, they could go on adventures together, and they're kind of polar opposites, so I think this would really work. Yes. Oh, wait. Yes. The Three Musketeers. We have the brains, the bronze, and the comedy relief. Wait. Nah, the more I think about it, the more I realize this could be the best thing ever. Can you imagine how many people would be getting moist? Would be engaged with this show because they all have their different fandoms into one setting. You have the people who like funny, that's Tone Deaf Bard. You have the people who like the edgy boys, that's Zhao. And then you have people who just like to listen to ASMR. The whole purpose of this show is them just going on travels to different nations. Yeah. So they just go around the world helping people while also having the best back and forths imaginable. Like them just having small talk is the funniest thing to the viewer. And Zhang Dong constantly ignoring Venti for the entire anime. And maybe towards the end, he finally acknowledges Venti's existence. And Zhao is just quietly sitting on the back line. Wait, him being part of this group kind of leads me to believe he might be a bit of a third wheel, but I think that's what would make people sympathize with him the most out of all of the characters here. So yeah, the Three Musketeers go around the world. Do we have any other groups we can do? Yunjin Jinyon. Wait, they would have a musical kind of show. I know Yunjin is also like a dancer, but this would be High School Musical, anime edition. I'm adding a tier for that. It is beautiful. And this whole storyline would just go through the struggles of being a musician. Jinyon's parents wanted her to go to med school, but she's like, screw you, dad. I want to play the guitar and barely have enough money to support myself. Nah, the musicians have it rough, guys. If you're not super famous, it is hard to get enough money. So one day, after she gets into a fight with her parents, she meets Yunjin on the street, and she's doing a street performance. And afterwards, Jinyon goes up to her, and instantly, they become best friends and go on a musical journey together. Honestly, it's kind of similar to in-game, like how they became besties, but just in an anime, in a more constructive plot. It's gonna be a really awesome show. We don't have enough music-based anime, guys. It kind of makes me sad. I think all of the other characters are standalone, so we'll do Yelan because it's gonna be very similar to Rosaria's kind of shtick. So maybe this is a situation where a bunch of high government officials hire her to do the dirty business. Ooh, and what if she ends up being rivals with Rosaria? So they both have different shows that take place in the same universe. And imagine Rosaria makes a cameo in the Yelan show. Everyone at home is gonna be like, ooh, I know that chick. She's the gothic assassin from the other show. MCU, more like assassin. I can also see these two having a lot of respect for each other, like them going out for drinks after a long day of killing people. That sounds like a good time, y'all. Although I do think Yelan is less likely to take in a child under her wing like Rosaria because she's a bad bitch. She likes to just chill and do nothing on her own time. Like, this show would be about drugs, money, and killing. I'm being a bit of a bad influence right now, but Yelan's not doing the drugs. No, she's busting the drug dealers. Yeah, it's gonna be a really high-paced action show though, for sure. Next, we got Zheng Ling, who is the star of whatever Food Wars anime you wanna make. Her and her assistant Guoba traveled the land, making all these 5-star chefs bust with how amazing her food is. Bro, she's the type that's like, okay, get me milk, eggs, and a sausage, I'll make you the best meal you've ever had. With that in mind, we don't really have a cooking anime category. So I'm gonna say it probably leans more towards the comedy side and the slice of life as well, because it goes into the nitty-gritty of what makes an amazing chef. And she's probably such a great inspiration for the culinary world. All these old men are like, young lady, how do you do it? And she's just like, oh, well, I put the food in the pan, I put it in the oven, I smoke a J, minus the last part. But I feel like when she explains her process, no one really understands but her, if you feel me. Actually, Jujutsu Kaisen, the doctor chick, I forget her name, when she tries to explain how she heals people, it's just a bunch of wacky stuff. It would be like that for Zhang Ling, except cooking, completely different. Next, we have Yanfei, and I have an interesting idea for this. What if she has a supernatural law firm where all kinds of species of creatures can come to get legal advice? So with that in mind, actually, it's kind of closer to the fantasy setting. And I don't even think she's gonna charge like top dollar. Like lawyers who are as good as this chick usually charge a small fortune for their service, but she's gonna be really accessible. So if you're like a broke little goblin man or something, or if you're a cute little cat girl, she doesn't discriminate. The price is the same for all interdimensional species. Wait, I love how cracked this could be because it combines the realism of the law with the supernatural sci-fi elements of a fantasy world. Dude, this has to be one of the top 5 shows I would realistically watch. If Yanfei had a show like this, I would donate to the Kickstarter for this to actually get made. Next, we have Yoimiya, who would be a queen of a slice of life show because she's so social that just her normal interactions are gonna be the most entertaining thing imaginable. Oh, wait, then again, she's also really adventurous. Yeah, okay, it's gonna be a mix of adventure and slice of life. There's not gonna be any action. It's just gonna be her going to these different areas of the world and getting to know the people of said areas. Now, I'm sure some conflicts might arise from time to time in these foreign nations, so she's gonna make it her duty to help anyone in need. And maybe she'll even introduce fireworks to these other parts of the world. Yeah, maybe where she's from is the only place that has fireworks at the time. So that could kind of be her motivation to actually travel. Yeah, there we go. We have a bit of a plot to kind of push the story along. So we're gonna go with that. Then we'll do Charlotte because she's great. I'm so excited for this chick in Fontaine. Wait. Funny enough, what if she's the one doing the documentary on Razor? Yeah, she's gonna be the narrator. She's like, here we have the wolf boy in his natural habitat. Okay, maybe not, because we have to give her her own show. So I'm gonna say it's probably a mystery supernatural, mostly mystery. So she's gonna go around trying to find problems to solve just to write some really cool news pieces on. So it's gonna be like a case-on-case basis. So she'll spend 3 episodes solving one mystery, and the last 5 minutes of the 3 episodes, she writes an article summarizing the events, and it becomes really popular. And that's how she gets her job as the queen of the media. And finally, we have the 2 characters I know the least about. I'm gonna say Aloy, even though she's a bit of a hacker chick. I think she'd fit right in with the sports squad. She just strikes me as a really athletic kid. Like she's probably in the archery club. Yeah, okay, wait, maybe an anime about archery? I don't think that's ever been done before, so that'd be interesting. And then finally we have Mika, who I'm just gonna say is an adventure kind of anime. Because he is the land surveyor, so maybe the anime is about him going to different locations, sketching out the maps, and as it happens, he meets a bunch of different people, interacts with the wildlife. It's a really comf kind of adventure. Yeah, I think that'd be a nice thing. Alright guys, that was the characters in an anime tier list. Sorry if this one felt a little lackluster. It's my first tier list in like a while, but I am gonna start doing these just once a week, maybe once every second week, so I don't get as burnt out as I usually do with these. But with that in mind, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in Fontaine, which is probably out by the time I post this, but whatever. Take it easy, guys. Peace.